The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read. Your source for news, politics, sports, and all things trending. Here's your host, Marcus Gentry.
I want to ask you about one particular answer from Vice President Biden. They asked him about what he said 40 years ago, and they clarified that it was 40 years ago. But they asked him about how he said, I don't really care what happened 300 years ago. And let's be honest, he said it was in reference to what happened to African Americans 300 years ago. Now, instead of correcting that record or saying that he regrets those comments, he started talking about how we got to play record players to kids. What did you?
Colleges and poor parents need to be, basically what I heard, poor parents need to do a better job of raising their children, as if just being poor makes you not a good parent. I was highly offended by that as a black woman. I'm trying to keep cool, calm, and collected, that the vice president couldn't say that the slavery, Jim Crow, redlining, bigotry, institutional racism, and all the hell that black people have caused since our ancestors were brought to this country as slaves on ships is a scourge on this country. And I apologize for what I said 40 years ago. But no, instead, he just went down this path that made it even worse, Jenkins. It's just an insensitivity. And not only that.
And there you have it, people. That was Nina Turner. She's a politician out of Ohio, and she was being interviewed by Cenk Uygur of TYT, the Young Turks. Now, the Young Turks is a program I've been following for a while, and I suggest some of you guys not only follow my show, but go and check out the Young Turks. They're a good program on YouTube, and they talk about politics. They're progressive liberals, but they speak the truth. They speak the truth to power, which is something I try to do. And Nina Turner was basically saying some things about Joe Biden that kind of pissed me off a little bit. And it pissed me off because I've been promoting him as the only chance we have of beating Donald Trump. I still think that he has a chance of beating Donald Trump, but I can no longer support his run. I'm going with Bernie Sanders, and I'm gonna tell you why during this program. See, Joe Biden is he's B team, and I thought he was gonna step up and be A team, but he doesn't have it in him, people. You see, you let me break that down for you. And you got Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. You know, Scottie Pippen is what Joe Biden is. He's not the superstar, but he's the wingman. He's the guy that's the backup. And of course Obama was Michael Jordan. You always gonna have people like that who talk a good game, but at the same time, they don't have the potential to be an A-lister. And he just isn't there. He's 76 years old. Let me find the paperwork on him. He's 76 years old, people. And he's insensitive about things that's going on in the communities. And I see that now. You know, he's lived his life. His son done died in the military, and he's done some good things now. Don't get me wrong. I can go down the list of things that Joe Biden has done for the minority community, but his time is come and gone, and I have to sit here and be straight up with you and admit to it. And Nina Turner, she couldn't have put it no better in this interview that Cenk Uygur did with her. You know, he's insensitive right there on a historical black college campus. You know, he's basically saying, you know, he don't care about 300 years ago. He's trying to fix what's going on today. And that was kind of insensitive. You know, is it racist? But it was insensitive. You know, he could have came better with that. And there's a lot of things going on in the news, but I just had to speak on this whole Joe Biden thing. You know, I still think he's a good politician. I still think he has the potential to help minorities in the minority community, but he's a wingman, people. He's not an A-lister, and that's sad because you know, he was right there with Barack Obama for the 8 years. He was with him, but his time is come and gone, and I don't think it's coming back. Now Bernie Sanders, you know, he's 78 years old, out of Brooklyn, New York, and he's fighting for a lot of different causes that I think are worth fighting for, you know, and we ought to give him a look. Elizabeth Warren, she's pretty good too. We're gonna have to take a long look at these two people. But as far as Biden goes, you know, he's a B-lister. We gotta let it go. I'm sorry, Biden, but I can no longer support you, man. You've been insensitive to the cause, man, and I can't do it. I also got some good news from my first show I did about the trade lines. A representative, Corey Miller, he contacted me, and he wanted to give out some information on, you know, trade lines in his company. Like I told you before, I'm able to connect with them and sell you trade lines to help boost your credit. I'm gonna try to get him on the phone during the program and let him explain to you exactly everything that's going on with the trade lines. And it's a good thing, people. It can help you out a lot if you know, you're dealing with some issues where you just shy a few points to get you a home or a car. It can really help you, and I think some of you should take a look at it. And I'm gonna try to get him on the phone later on. But as far as Joe Biden goes, we just gotta let it go, people. He just insensitive. And Nina Turner, she's a representative out of Nina Hudson Turner. She's a politician out of Ohio. She worked for Barack Obama in his administration, and she was a city councilman from 2006 to 2008, and an Ohio state senator from 2008 to 2014. You know, and she's 51 years old, and she knows what she's talking about, people. She's been around. You know, she's been around. And Biden, yeah, we just got to let it go. And I have a list of things here he's done, you know, that are good causes. But at the end of the day, you know, when you insensitive to the plight of African Americans in this country, you know, because you trying to forge ahead, you know, I want to forge ahead too. But I'm a firm believer that you can't forget your past. You start forgetting your past, then you're doomed to make those same mistakes in the future. But before we continue on with the show, I want to get to the Masonic journals. We got a lot of things going on here within the next month or two dealing with the Masonic journals, and I want to discuss that with you. First up, September 28th, we have the Masquerade Ball. It's right around the corner, people. This is a grown folks party. You know, this is a grown folks party. The Masquerade Ball is popping. And if you're in the Nashville area on September 28th, you need to be there. It's at 660 Lafayette Street, Nashville, Tennessee, 37204. Time starts at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. $30 singles, $40 for a couple, $5 off for pre-sales on the tickets. You have to have a mask to get in, people. You have to have a mask. If you don't have a mask, you can purchase one at the door for $1. And it's going down, people. I've been to one of these events, and it's a good event. It's a grown and sexy party. And also on November 9th, Now this is my brothers, the Rod. The Rod presents the Blue Jeans and Blazer party. Now you can't get in this party unless you dressed up in blue jeans and blazers, man. So you got to come suited and booted. We want you to come in there looking good, man. So it's November 9th, 2019, 7 p.m. until. It's going to be at Panobis in Rivergate Parkway, 903 Rivergate Parkway. It's in Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 37072. And contact information on tickets is 615-440-1707. And you need to be there. All my people in West Tennessee, all my people in Middle Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky. If y'all in the city, man, in the Nashville area, and you want something to do on November 9th, come on through. Tickets is $20 at the door. So y'all need to get up in there. We throw some good events. The Rod throws some very good events. The last Valentine's Day party, it was off the chain. It was packed. We didn't have room, and we had to move to a different location because we didn't have enough room in there for them people. So y'all need to be there, get in there, and enjoy yourself. But back to Joe Biden, and that was the Masonic journals. Also, if you have any charity events or things going on in your community, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to me at masonicjournal@gmail.com. And again, that's masonicjournal@gmail.com. And send me the information, picture of your flyer, and I'll air it on my show. It don't cost you a dime. Some of my advertisement, especially for my Masonic sisters and brothers, is free. You got a charity event that's going on. I don't care what it is. It can be giving out book bags or working for the VA. I'm gonna promote it. I'm gonna spread the love, and that's the Masonic Journal. Now back to Joe Biden. It's really bugging me about this guy. I don't know what's going on with him. I don't know, why he keep making these blunders and bloopers. Maybe it's just he's old. He's like that old uncle of yours you can't take nowhere. Every time you take him somewhere, he gets drunk and act a fool, embarrass you, and he's just bumbling around. We need somebody professional in the White House. Somebody's gonna straighten up this ship, because this ship is running to that iceberg like the Titanic. We got to find somebody that's gonna straighten this ship out, because it's getting bad, people. It's something serious going on. When I get to the news, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. We even have John Bolton, the mustachioed creep. The man Donald Trump, he surrounds himself with creeps everywhere you turn, criminals and creeps. This is the guy who got us in the Iraq War, lying about weapons of mass destruction to Bush. He hired him and fired him. Now we don't have a national security advisor. This is serious, people. Russia's playing a mean game. We got to stop playing checkers and start playing chess, because this is serious. We got a lot of things in the news that's happened over this last week that's disturbing. Anytime you got a president who goes through 3 or 4 national security advisors, and within his first term, not just the first term, but the first 2 years of his first term, it's a problem. These national security advisors are there for a reason. They dare to advise the president on matters of war and things of that nature. Who's making power moves? And all of these people are criminals and crooks. They're worried about pilfering the government for money. You know, something's going on. We got to be careful. We got to pay attention. And like I say, this whole thing about Joe Biden is not sitting well with me. He has it. He can win. I think Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren can win too, but Joe Biden has the upper hand over all of them. He can pull it off, but for some reason he's playing around, acting silly. And then maybe it's not an act. Maybe he could just be an old man who's losing his touch. I think he's a B leaguer. I don't even think he's A-league material. You know, he's a wingman. You know how you always got that homeboy that you hang around with to make you look better in front of the girls. That's what he is. You know, he's a wingman. He that's what he's showing. He's a B team. You know. He's not Michael Jordan. He's Scottie Pippen. I'm sorry, Joe Biden, but you gotta, you gotta show these people something, because you done lost me, man. You know, you gotta straighten this out. But I'm finna run down to you each segment on the qualifications of each candidate. I'm gonna start with Joe Biden. And the reason I'm gonna start with Joe Biden, because like I said, he done lost me, but at the same time, if he's the candidate who has to face Donald Trump, I'm gonna vote for him. I'm gonna start pushing Bernie Sanders, but if the primaries end and Joe Biden's the last man standing, I'm gonna vote for him. Have no choice, people, because times are serious. You know, he might be B league, but you know, he's way better than Donald Trump. We got to get him out of there before he crashes this whole country into a sinking Titanic iceberg. You know. Qualifications on Joe Biden. While vice president, he was combating violence against women. He was addressing sexual assault on campuses. He engaged men and boys as bystanders in preventing violence against women. He was tackling the rape kit backlog and modernizing FBI's definition of rape. He was prioritizing violence against women in our foreign policy and national security. You know, that's a lot of foreign work. We deal with a lot of countries and trade and things of that nature that have been known to use violence against women. So he was tackling that. Law enforcement responses towards women, he was tackling that. Like I said, Joe Biden has a lot of potential. He has a lot of potential, but these blunders is putting a dampening on the things that he's accomplished. You know, the man is serious. He played a leading role in getting the economy back on track with Barack Obama, President Obama. He helped guarantee fiscal policy that supports middle class economics. You know, training and education for low income housing families. You know, the man has qualifications, but he's running around here acting like Benny Hill. Some of y'all don't remember who Benny Hill is. I'm a little older than some of my listeners on YouTube especially. Now my podcasters are older. They know who I'm talking about when I say Benny Hill. But, you know, Joe Biden's running around here acting like Benny Hill. Like the Three Stooges. You know, blundering and bloopering everywhere he go. He can't win like that. He can't win like that, people. He got to start taking this stuff serious, and he need to get him a team around him that's going to stop him from making these blunders and bloopers. You know? It's getting serious out here. And like I said, I want to give a thanks to the Young Turks, Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian. You know, these people are serious about politics and serious about pushing the minority community into the spotlight of politics, and they go and ask questions well most people don't even be thinking about. You know, that's why he asked Nina Turner at the end of the debate, what did she think about the things Joe Biden said, because it really didn't sit well with a lot of people, you know. And to be honest, the man could be playing games. You know, he knows there's a lot of bigots out there that love Donald Trump. He could be trying to pull some of their votes. I don't know. But I'm not going to play around with Joe Biden. And I suggest you don't neither. Because Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren are just as good as he is. Matter of fact, I think Bernie Sanders, he's an A-league. You know, he's not a beta male. He's an A-league. Bernie Sanders is. He's old just like Joe Biden, but Bernie Sanders, you know, he's going to push minorities to the forefront. He's not going to play no games. Now, do he have a chance of beating Donald Trump? It's going to be tough, because Bernie Sanders has been closely tied to socialist agendas. But what Americans don't realize when they keep saying we don't want a socialist in the White House is that most of the things we do in this country is socialism. You know, Social Security, it's socialism. The health care we have, not all of it, but the health care we have today is socialism. And most people don't understand that. They hear these Republicans talking about we don't need a socialist, this and that. But a lot of the things that goes on in American society as far as our government go is already socialism, people. They done turned something that we already do into a bad word. And we already do it. You know? So we got to start paying attention and thinking about this. I'm finna take my commercial break, my first commercial break, and when we come back, I'm gonna jump to some things in the newspaper. And this is the Daily Read, and I'm your host, Marcus Gentry.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
September 28th, the 4th annual Masquerade Ball, ladies and gentlemen. September 28th, the 4th annual Masquerade Ball will be thrown by Assyria Chapter 2, the lovely ladies of Assyria Chapter 2. It will be held at 660 Lafayette Street, Nashville, Tennessee, 37204. The time will be at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. At the door is $30 for singles, $40 for couples, and if you get your tickets early, it'll be $5 off. And now I want all of my people to come out for this one, y'all. This is going to be something special. These ladies, they throw a good party every year, and you need to attend this. If you don't have a mask, you can get one at the door. You can purchase one for $1. Again, that's September 28th, the 4th annual Masquerade Ball. It's going down, Nashville.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Study out that says that it will take 228 years for the average black family to catch up to the wealth of the average white family if we stay on this course, if nothing changes. What that means is that it's never going to happen, that black people are being resigned to a future that says that we are never going to have wealth in this country, and that it doesn't matter if your parents have a college degree or whether or not your parents are wealthy or not. If you are black in this country, that wealth that was made on the blood, sweat, the backs of chattel slavery in this country can never be undone. And you got a vice president that was totally, just totally numb to that. I mean, he just didn't care. I don't even know what the answer he gave. That one got to me a lot. You know, just as a black woman, this has nothing to do with my support of my senator. This is me as a black woman in America to hear the former vice president who served under the first black president give such an asinine, senseless, and insensitive answer about the legacy of chattel slavery in this
All
country.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. The first segment, we was talking about Joe Biden and the bloopers and blunders that he's been doing here lately, and it seems like he's almost trying to throw this election. And like Bill Maher said, this election is up for us to lose. We can win it easy. All we got to do is put somebody in there capable. You know, put somebody in there that seems like he's mentally capable, and not some stooge sitting up there, you know, acting funny, acting crazy. Now I don't know what's going on with Joe Biden. You know, probably would never know. But this is getting serious, people. I want to get to today's news, because this is the Daily Read, and they had a lot of things in these newspapers. You know, things you won't see on TV. I was reading an article in there about Bin Laden's son. He was killed, you know. And I'm not finna shed a tear. He was a terrorist. But how he was killed, it was almost as if somebody's trying to give Donald Trump some brownie points. You know, just like Obama killed his father, Osama. You don't get no brownie points for killing this guy. He was a normal terrorist. He wasn't special like Bin Laden, like Osama. Osama was a head. He was the mastermind. This kid is a grunt. He might be Osama bin Laden's son, you know, but he wasn't the real deal. All he was a spokesman, somebody that had Bin Laden's last name. Matter of fact, Bin Laden had over 13 some kids, you know, so you don't get no brownie points for that. That man wasn't nothing. Matter of fact, most people never even heard of this guy. I'm sitting there looking at it now. No details in the death of Bin Laden's son. No details in the death of Bin Laden's son, people. It says here, American officials have said there are indications that the CIA, not the U.S. military, conducted the strike. So, you know, the military, you know, they ain't had nothing to do with it. He sent special teams of CIA operatives, and I come from a military background. And I'm going to tell you, people, when they send the CIA in, they send them in to murder you. You know, the military is not murderers for hire. But the CIA, when they go in, they sending people in to murder you. So somebody at the top, I guess wanting to give, you know, President Trump some brownie points, then I sent the CIA in to kill this young man. Like I said, I ain't gonna shed no tear. But it's awfully crazy. You know, he keep trying to one up Barack Obama, but you failing miserably. You know, you're not quite there on that level. You know, you're a crook. You're a petty crook, a Russian stooge. That's all you are. And you keep trying to one up Barack Obama, but you can't do it. And he don't like that. His administration don't like it. You know. Another thing I read here in the news this week was Tennessee suffered the nation's third largest increase in uninsured people. Now let's get into that, people. Let's get into that. About 46,000 more Tennesseans were without health insurance last year. And when they say that, you know they're talking about low income people. And when it comes to low income people, like Nina Turner said, we are at the bottom of that scale. It's going to take almost 200 years for us to bounce back. It's going to take almost 200 years if we get the right people in politics it'll take almost 200 years for us to be equal to our white counterparts in this country. And that's serious. She wasn't smiling, she wasn't joking, she wasn't laughing when she said it. She spoke the truth. You know, Tennessee's uninsured rate rose 0.6% in 2018. More than 675,000 Tennesseans, or about 1 in 10 state residents, have no insurance coverage. This is crazy, people. You already know what this is about. They fought for 8 years after Obamacare to stop people from being insured, because you got to think about it. If you have insurance, you live longer. You live longer, you can produce more kids. You produce more kids, you start equaling the majority in this country, which are white people. They know what they're doing. These kids are falling from Medicaid to no coverage, Johnson said. I know it does not work well for politics, but that is just the facts. You know, these people are playing politics with y'all. You know, they playing politics. They had a lot of this stuff in the newspapers. That's why I got my show, The Daily Read, because I'm going to dig it out for you. This stuff you're not going to see on CNN and MSNBC and Fox News, especially not Fox News. You're not going to see this stuff on Fox News. You know, they're going to talk about burgers and you know, they're going to keep bringing up Obama. The man ain't even president no more. They're going to talk about any other thing they could talk about except for ensuring that the wealth of this country be shared. They're not going to talk about that. You know, they're not going to talk about that. I got a lot of friends who've stopped smoking. I'm trying my best to stop smoking too, but the vape thing, you know, people don't understand how big tobacco is just as big as big pharma, the pharmaceutical companies, or the gun manufacturers. You know, tobacco was one of the main products in slavery days, right beside cotton. You know, people love the cotton and they love the tobacco. And it says here, President Donald Trump proposed ban on electronic cigarettes with anything but a tobacco flavor could kill a big part of the vape store industry, but it may have a limited impact on curbing use by young people who can already flavor their own cartridges with already available and attractive dessert taste. So somebody done got to him. Somebody in the tobacco industry is saying these vapes is hurting our industry. So now somebody done lined the pockets of the politicians, and now they trying to stop people from vaping. You know, think about that, people. Think about that for a second. This is crazy. And people don't understand how these big corporations, and mostly ran by white people, these big corporations are pulling the strings in our government. Ain't nobody mess with vapes. All the past presidents, ever since it's been invented, ain't nobody touched it. Now all of a sudden Donald Trump is in office. They want to start limiting vapes because you know, somebody from the tobacco industry, some bigwig done donated millions of dollars to their politician, their favorite politician. They mad about vapes. It's in the newspaper. Half of you probably ain't even heard about it. It's coming. The announcement came in the midst of an outcry over the mountain death of the amount of death toll and hundreds of serious lung illness is linked to vaping. Nearly all of the now public cases involve young men who vape both nicotine and THC oil. This is the excuse they're trying to use. I have never heard of somebody dying of vape. And I'm going to look into it. I'm going to look into it, people. But I haven't heard of nobody dying of no vape. You know. This is the tobacco company. Now I've heard of people dying of tobacco, catching cancer. You know, this is the tobacco company doing it. You know, all of a sudden they got a rise in death over vapes, but they don't talk about the rise in death over tobacco. You know, read between the lines, people. Sometimes this stuff is comedic to me. You know, this when I read these papers and watch these news programs, it's almost like I'm watching some cartoons. Because a lot of people don't get it. They don't even see through the lines. You know? They don't get it. It says here, here's how to get free admissions to 28 Tennessee museums this month. I might post this in the description, people. I remember when I was a kid going to museums, and you know, our people used to kick us out. They like, man, y'all, you know, to go together and come back together. You know, when you the old, you 15, 16, you got your little cousins with you. You know, they'll tell you, man, y'all go down and catch the bus and go downtown Chicago to the museum. You know, and we used to do it. Catch the bus, ride the L train, get downtown and go to the museum. And it helps. It helps in the education of your kids. You know, it gives them something else to look forward to. You know, when they go down there and they see an actual dinosaur bone, they've read about it in the news, in the school books. But, you know, when your kid actually go and see one that's about the same size as their body, one bone is the same size as their body, then they see the actual scope and scale of what these animals were. You know, museums are important. And I just might put some of these East Tennessee American Museum of Science and Energy in Oak Ridge. I might put some of these links in the subscription of this video. That way, if some of you are visiting Tennessee, I live in Tennessee now, but if some of you are visiting Tennessee, you might be able to find some of these museums. You know, take your kids down there. You know, it'd be a good thing. I'm a Cancer. It's okay to expect a certain tone from people and distance yourself from lesser behavior, especially if the moodiness could be part of some pattern of emotional manipulation. Well, that's ominous. That's ominous. Emotional manipulation. I used to love reading the horoscopes. Some people can get caught up in them horoscopes, people. You know, some people can get caught up in horoscopes. I try not to get caught up in there. That's almost like living your life off a fortune cookie. You know, seriously. And I know some people stand by they sign and they wear T-shirts with they sign on it and all that stuff. But you know, come on. You know, we got to stay grounded in reality. And some of us don't be grounded in reality. But son asks mom to stay at a hotel during visit. Son asks mom to stay at a hotel during visit. This is crazy. You know, let's get into this. This is interesting. See, this is why I like reading the newspaper. Because you find some interesting things in here. You know, this type of stuff you're not going to find on Google. This is real life people. talking about real life issues. This 35-year-old man told his 70-year-old mother that whenever she comes to town, she has to stay in a hotel. Can't stay at his house. Now, you know, this is crazy. You know, my mother welcome in my house anytime she want to. You see, I don't care if she gripe or groan about how I'm running my house, because I can always tell her, hey, you know, you got some place to go. You got your own house to go to. You still welcome here anytime you want to. But you get to complain about certain things in my household, you got some place to go. You know, but you never deny your mother your house. You know, run your house. But this is crazy. I'm a 70-year-old mom of a 35-year-old newly married son, my only child. What are your thoughts about him telling me that if I visit them, I need to stay in a hotel? And that goes back to family and things of that nature. How many of y'all? Matter of fact, leave a brief comment about this in the description below my YouTube page on this show. I want to know how many of you would literally tell your mother, the person who birthed you, that she has to stay in a hotel if she come visit you from out of state or wherever. Leave a brief comment. And I know some people have mothers who feel like, you know, they're overbearing and things of that nature, but at the same time, it's your house. You know, you can always tell her, hey, you can come back, but hey, you can leave too. You know, this your house. But you don't deny her. I've never seen that. You know, things is crazy. Things is crazy out here, people. I had to get into my my daily read on that news. But my trade line guy, he works for Trade Line Supply Company. His name is Corey Miller. Let me see, Corey Miller. I'm going to try to contact him on my third segment and let him briefly explain to you about his trade line company and the things that he has going on. But before I get to that, like I said, I'm gonna do a brief synopsis on Elizabeth Warren. I'm gonna do Bernie Sanders on the last segment. Okay. I already told you some of the things that Joe Biden has done as vice president. And he's still doing, you know, good things in the communities and everything, but he's just acting like a goofball. We got a goofball already. We don't need another one, you know. But Elizabeth Warren, she's 70 years old from Oklahoma City. Net worth $8 million. She's, of course, part of the Democratic Party. She was a former academic serving as senior United States Senator from Massachusetts. She was formerly a law school professor specializing in bankruptcy law. I didn't know that. That's why she's so hard on these banks, because that's why she's so hard on these banks. She don't play with these people, and that's one good quality I like about her. She will go toe to toe with these big bankers in Wall Street. Matter of fact, she just went after the CEO from Wells Fargo, Tim Sloan. You know, Tim Sloan, matter of fact, I think Wells Fargo owed me some money. I'm a part of that lawsuit. Tim Sloan is under his watch. They had practices under Wells Fargo that were, you know, not legal, where they was putting accounts into your name to make themselves look good so they can get bonuses. And before you find out about these accounts, they would quickly shut them down. And then how I got blown wide open, a young man had found out he had an account and he never opened this account. So he said something about it, and the whistleblowing started going on from there. People started talking about it, which is why they got fined millions of dollars. And but Elizabeth Warren went after these people hard. She don't play no games. Elizabeth Warren is about the Me Too movement, protecting women's rights. She's about holding CEOs of major corporations feet to the fire for unfair trade practices. So I'm basically giving you a synopsis on the different candidates. I've already told you in the first segment about Joe Biden. I'm shifting from him. Unless he show me something real good in the next few weeks, I don't think I'm gonna vote for him. I'm gonna probably vote for Bernie Sanders. But out of fairness, some of you people out there who like Elizabeth Warren, especially you women, because she does a lot of great things for women causes. So I'm just giving you a brief synopsis on Elizabeth Warren. She's been fighting for women causes for a long time, people. And if you into the whole movement, women rights movement and things like that, you might want to look at her. Check her background out, Google her. You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to do. But she's been around for a while. She didn't just come into this like some of those candidates up there on the stage. Cory Booker, he's cool, but he don't have the credentials yet. He don't have the credentials yet. He looked at like he was out of place up there. You know what I'm saying? The main three that can win this is Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, and Joe Biden. Anything less than that, man, it's not going to work against Donald Trump. It's not going to work, people. Y'all got to understand and recognize. I know we want another black president or black female or female, but just anybody we throw up there ain't going to work. It's not going to work, people. On this, I'm going to take my next commercial break. And after this commercial break, I'm going to try to reach out to Corey Miller. And before I get into Bernie Sanders and some of the things he offers and brings to the table, I'm going to reach out to Corey Miller and see if he can shed some light on trade lines and some things of that nature. And this is the Daily Read, and I'll be back.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
The Rod presents his very own Blue Jeans and Blazer Party, people. Blue Jeans and Blazer Party. Get ready, Nashville. November 9th, 2019 at 7 p.m. until. It's going to be held at Panobi's, 903 Rivergate Parkway, Goodlettsville, Tennessee, 37072. Contact information is 615-440-1707 for tickets. Again, it's going to be held at Panobi's, the Blue Jean and Blazers Party. Be there, be nowhere.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
All right, people, and we back with the Daily Read, and I am your host, Marcus Gentry. I tried to reach out to Corey Miller, and I couldn't get through to him right then, but what I'm going to do is, he's probably busy doing some work, but what I'll do is, if he calls back, I'll record it, and I'll tack it on as a bonus to the end of this show, and let him explain about the trade lines he's offering, and how it can help and help your credit and things of that nature. Because like I said, I always try to bring good things to the community that can help you out, especially we minorities. We need it. We need everything we can get, and it's vital. Credit moves this world, especially this country. Now, third world countries, guns and drugs might rule those countries, but in the top tier countries, credit runs it. And if your credit ain't right, I don't care what color you are, you're an underclass citizen. And a lot of people don't realize that. If your credit ain't good, you wasting your time. You're an underclass citizen. But I want to, in this last segment, I want to get to Bernie Sanders. This is the guy who I'm switching to. And I don't mind coming on here because I always said on my show, I'm going to speak the truth to you. I was promoting Joe Biden at first because I still feel that he stands a chance, any one of them three stand a chance of beating Donald Trump. But I thought Joe Biden would have more of a chance. But he's doing too many bloopers and blunders. He's going to wind up being just like Hillary Clinton, getting up there with all this confidence, thinking he got it sold up, and the bigots are going to come out and beat him. He has to take this serious. So I can look in Bernie Sanders' eyes, people, the way he talks, and I could tell he's serious about this. The man has been going hard for a long time for minority issues. And he's serious. I'm finna give you the stats on him. I'm doing this so I can let you guys have an informed decision on who you want to vote for. You got to have an informed decision, people, because some of you ain't picking up these newspapers. Some of you aren't picking them up, and they hiding a lot of things in these newspapers that is going on. But Bernard Sanders, American politician who has served as junior United States Senator from Vermont since 2007. Born in 1941, he's 78 years old. Part of the Independent Political Party, but he's been running as a Democrat for the last few years. Now, the downside to Bernie, before I get into the good things, Bernie Sanders has been known to call himself a socialist independent or a socialist Democrat. Again, people, we keep making that into a bad word. We keep letting the Republicans turn that into a bad word. Socialism is just a form of governing. Just like communism, just like capitalism. You have different styles of governing people, different styles. And socialism is just a style of governing, okay? And we have capitalism in our country as the main style of governing, but we also have a splattering of socialism already in our society. The welfare check that people get, that's socialism. Medicaid, that's socialism. Your retirement fund, that's socialism. Capitalism cannot run well unless you have some socialism involved in it. And the reason why is because capitalism means that if you don't get out here and make money, you don't eat. Listen to what I'm telling you, people. Capitalism without socialism will never work. Because if you're a capitalist, that means you go out here and produce and make goods to sell to other people. A lot of people don't have it or don't have the talent to produce goods, so they have to work for the person that does. That's capitalism. Now, when you fall sick, you're disabled, capitalism don't have any room for you. They throw you away. And you have to rely on the generosity of somebody who might step over you in the street. But you have to rely on the generosity of somebody to help you if you're sick or disabled or mentally ill. This is where socialism comes in at. Socialism takes care of those people who can't take care of themselves. Capitalism doesn't do that. Capitalism only deals with the healthy, the people who are able to produce in life. And if you can't produce, capitalism has no room for you. Period. It has no room for you. So this country already has socialism in it. Socialism helps our poor, our sick, our disabled, our people living off the streets that don't have anybody or any place to be or any place to go. That's what socialism kicks in at. We already have it, people. We keep letting these Republicans turn it into a bad word, and it's not. Now let me get into the good things, because like I said, Bernie Sanders has been called a socialist Democrat. He's even called himself that, which is going to be a bad mark on him, because for so long the Republicans have been trying to mark him as some kind of a socialist person like Hitler or Stalin or something like that. And that's not the case. That's not what he's about. Now some of the good things that he has done, like the man said, he didn't help create a lot of bills. Medicare for all, he's pushing that. He's trying to take it a step further than what Obama did. He wants to allow all Medicare to negotiate with the drug companies. Allow you to negotiate with the pharmacies. That way you can lower the prices. Instead of them charging you $600 for a vital medicine, the prices can be lowered to $50. These are the things he's trying to promote. The Green New Deal. He has a plan on creating new jobs in the climate control industry. Somebody has to put these windmills up. Somebody has to put up these solar panels. Somebody has to train these people to put them up. These are all jobs that he's trying to create. He's trying to have college for all. Now, part of that college for all is clearing out the debt all across this country, no matter what color you are. He wants to clear out this debt. That right there alone will boost this economy. It's going to boost your credit rating because your debt has been forgiven. Your credit might jump up 10 to 50 points immediately if the government forgives your student loan debt. You'll be able to keep more money in your pocket. When your income tax come around, they won't garnish your income tax because they've forgiven the student loan. So the man has some good ideas, and that's the reason why I think I'm going to go ahead and switch over to Bernie. But as I said, if Joe Biden just so happens to win out the primaries, I'm voting for him. But you have to make your own informed decision and look these people up and find out more about them. And before I end this program, I'm going to try one more time to get the representative for Trade Lines on the phone, Corey Miller, and see if he can explain in more detail about the things he's offering.
Hello, you've reached the cell phone of Corey Miller. I'm sorry I can't take your call right now, but if you leave a name, number, and a brief message, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
We'll get
Thanks, and
back.
have a great day.
We'll get back with Corey Miller at
At the tone, please record your message.
We'll
When you
get back
finish
with Corey
recording,
Miller
you may hang up
at
or
another
press
date.
1 for more options.
Hi, everyone. It's 4 o'clock in New York. The 2020 Democrats spent much of last night and today jockeying for advantage in the post-debate spin wars. Some just trying to distinguish themselves from the rest of the pack.
We'll get back with Corey Miller on another date. But I definitely want him to reach out to my audience, because my audience is growing, and the more my audience grows, the more I'll be able to help people, especially in the minority community. But I'm willing to help anybody that needs it. And you know, like I said, you'll be able to get your trade lines going and set up some things to help boost your credit. But this is the end of the show, and I thank you for joining me on this beautiful Sunday. And this is the Daily Read, and I'm your host, Marcus Gentry. Thank you.
The business, motherfucker.
The Daily Read.
Business.